So I discovered a really cool tool called Real Video Enhancer. It's free and open source upscaling and film interpolation software that you can grab from Flatpak. And the interpolation is amazing. I took a clip, the one from this, 25 frames per second, to this 100 frames per second. And I want to go over all the fun little things on it and how it can run on almost any hardware. When you first set it up from Flatpak, you're set here to set up your backend. Now, I've already installed PyTorch because I figured that's a good jumping off point. It works with most hardware. You can also use the Vulkan. This one works on anything, but it's slower. The Tensor, which I might try in the future, it's the fastest, but has largest downloads. So this is like the Goldilocks right in the middle. Basically, you hit these down arrows and you walk through a process. Takes about 15-20 minutes for it to download all the files, but this is maintained completely within your Flatpak installation. Over here into the settings, you can select your output directory, which I work out of this folder called video screen. Scene change detection, that's enabled by default, but that basically keeps it from blending as a scene changes because you usually want that to be a nice sharp cut. And I didn't really fuck around with anything else over here. Let's look at the encoder settings. Because I use this tool to slow down footage that will probably be used in another video project, I went ahead and selected ProRes. Do you need to do this? Probably not, but ProRes will give you the most amount of flexibility. MKV container, just because it's the future. And I left basically everything else the same. There's some render settings, there's some other stuff. I didn't touch any of that. Now let's come into the actual clip tool. So we have a video clip that I need to render. So up here you have your queue. Everything has to happen to the queue first. And once it's in the queue, then you can run it. It's annoying if you're doing one clip. If you're doing a batch, it's awesome. So I'm going to select my video. So I'm going to go to Studio, Video, Episode, Clips, and I have Dance. 25 frames per second. All right. And by default, it wants to save it to the video folder that I was using. But I'm going to go ahead and move it to the same folder that I'm working out of. Backend is PyTorch. That's the only one I have installed. But if you have multiple backends that you can run on the same hardware, you can choose here. And for this particular one, this is a 4K clip, so I'm not going to upscale. I am going to interpolate. I'll say this, the upscaling does not work as good as the interpolate. The interpolate is amazing. This is the latest general model and it's recommended. So the first time you run it, it's going to download this model, but it's a very small file. So I'm going to go ahead and take this 25 frames per second. I'm going to boost it to 100. That's right. Every frame we're going to generate 3 frames. Now I add it to the render queue, and it's downloading a new library. Awesome. And then I go. Pros and cons. Pro, it gives you a preview. Con, this is a preview of the input, which is, I don't know why this was a default. It makes much more sense to give you an idea of what your finished product is going to be. But I digress. Now again, this is a 4K clip, and as you can see, it's not lightning fast, but it's definitely chugging along. The original clip is only about 7 seconds, so this is actually doing a phenomenal job. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing run its course, and then we will look at the output. Another little fun bug is even though I told it to save at the other location, here it is in my screen folder. Now I'm going to play this back, but it's going to look probably pretty close to the same. Yeah, it might look a little smoother on your preview here. That's because it's playing at 60 frames per second. I mean, 100 frames per second. So what I often do is I go ahead and install MKV Tools GUI. This is the one that's built into the Debian repository. I almost said Ubuntu. We're going to grab this clip in here. We're going to drop it in. And what I like about this is I can just declip everything else, select ProRes, and I use this a lot, and I can force a frame rate. It's not going to resample or nothing. It's just going to force it to be 30 frames per second. Change the name to 100 FPS. It's going to freak out because there's no audio file, but I want to do that. Boop. And then it copies the frames over, and you can go ahead and close this. And now I have a 100 frames version slowed down. There we go. Now this is ready for my 30 frames per second timeline. Again, 75% of the frames we're seeing here are fake. And if you look closely, you can sometimes see little aberrations and weird things. Fingers and hands sometimes disappear weirdly. But overall, it does a really surprisingly good job. I didn't really go over the upscaling. It's kind of the same process. I took this clip from a YouTube clip from The Simpsons that was 480p and upscale it, and it looks pretty good. Not nearly as impressive as interpolation, but it's still pretty cool. So grab the software. It's free. Just go to FlatHub and pick it up. Play with it, learn it. If I discover any new things out of it, I'll definitely update this video, or at least update the top comment.